Teachers Union President Pat Gardner says it's Goodwin who's putting politics ahead of teachers and students.
It's not about student achievement. It's about, let's make sure our buddy's got his job for 4 years. There's nothing in here about student achievement. He didn't get the evaluation they wanted him to get, so they're going to change the evaluation. I wish I could do that for teachers.
A teacher survey done over the weekend shows 97% of the 1,475 teachers who responded say no to this proposed contract.
A pretty bizarre sign is posted outside the Teachers Union office in Sarasota.
Liz Crawford has been on the story for several days now. Liz, what's the deal with this sign?
So here it is. The sign says Recruiting 101. Don't recruit teachers in a strip club. Not something you see every day. The union president told us the sign is in reference to an incident involving Superintendent Dr. Todd Bowden. The Teachers Association is taking a shot at Bowden for visiting a strip club with other district administrators while he was in Detroit for a teachers conference, something Bowden admitted in a deposition. You see, the deposition is part of a retaliation lawsuit against the district by a former assistant principal. Dr. Lina Jimenez Ruiz says Bowden retaliated against her after she filed a sexual harassment complaint against Bowden. The retaliation lawsuit is pending. Well, I did some more digging today. Dr. Bowden was in the hot seat more than once when he worked for Hillsborough County Schools. So according to his personnel record on file at Hillsborough, a female teacher filed a harassment complaint against Bowden in 2004 when he was assistant principal. 3 years later, the district had leadership concerns about Bowden after 11 staff members complained. Bowden resigned from Hillsborough County Schools in 2007 and took a job over in Sarasota. Then he took over as superintendent in 2017.
And we had a new superintendent who came in, and that superintendent and I were close.
And now the board is expected to vote on the superintendent's next contract.
The second in command at Sarasota County Schools is accused of serious misconduct. One of his employees came forward accusing him of sexual harassment and making a threat. Now the school board is bracing for a costly lawsuit.
The Sarasota County School Board has already hired outside counsel to handle this case, but the attorney for the alleged victim says money is not the goal here. The chief operating officer for Sarasota County Schools, Jeff Maltzby, has been on paid administrative leave since June. This all started after this woman came forward.
I have been insulted, belittled, and humiliated.
Maltzby's assistant, Sharina Bonner, says for months, Maltzby sent her hundreds of inappropriate text messages, many at night. She got concerned for her safety after she asked him to stop.
He sent her a text that says snitches get stitches.
The school board hired a third party to conduct an investigation. The board spent more than $71,000 on that report. It won't be released to the public until the 28th. The $71,000 report was paid for with taxpayer dollars. With attorney's fees reaching $360 an hour, a lawsuit would be extremely costly.
The drama surrounding Sarasota County Schools came to a head this afternoon. The school board called a special meeting to discuss a third-party investigation that found the assistant superintendent sexually harassed his secretary, and the superintendent didn't do enough to address sexual harassment complaints.
Before the board could even address that third-party report, they had to look into a settlement agreement proposed by the superintendent. Dr. Bowden proposed that he would step down as superintendent in exchange for another high-paying job and a 10-year contract.
I am so disgusted that this proposal was brought forward. How could you possibly think that this is something that we would truly consider?
School board member Bridget Ziegler fought back tears as she addressed the superintendent's proposal. Bowden says he's willing to take a suspension with pay for the remainder of the year in exchange for a new job as executive director of facilities set to begin on January 1st, 2020. That new job comes with a 10-year contract and a $180,000 annual salary. He also won severance pay and attorney fees paid by the district.
This is a compromise.
We have to take taxpayer dollars seriously.
This is a sham! Give him a new job? Are you kidding me?
Sharina Bonner, the woman behind the sexual assault and retaliation complaints, had an outburst of her own.
Everything you do is for media. That is it. You talk about your family, what about my family? That is it. it. You think I care about you getting another job? Do you know what I've been through? You don't even speak to me. I say good morning, you walk by and you look at me like I don't exist. You won't even speak to me in the mornings. You don't do anything. Caroline, I respected you until you went under oath and lied. I lost all respect. And what I'm not going to allow you to do is keep dragging my name through the mud. I didn't ask for Jeff to do this. I didn't ask for Todd to ignore me. Yeah, take me out, but this is not the end. Sick of this. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. You get up there and you put on your little smiley faces and pretend that you live in a white picket fence and all of you have dirt. The only time you want to bring up dirt is about Eric and Bridget. What about your dirt? Shirley, what about your active lawsuit? Did we talk about that? Did you talk about my kids being in danger? You won't. You call me a liar. You call me a liar. You paid $72,000 for a report that you want to question? $72,000 more than I make a year. I come here every day. I smile. I do my job, and y'all give me y'all the kiss every day. Every single day you treat me like when I come to this place.
We have teachers that have said, and I quote, conservative teachers have had to go underground.
The district's issue is much bigger than the superintendent. They say fear of retaliation has kept district employees from speaking up.
100%. I am the perfect example of that. I came forward, and 2 years later, I lost my job.
Right now, there's rampant mistrust within this district.
The contract guarantees the superintendent an annual $5,000 pay raise for the next 4 years, topping his salary at $222,000. That's not all. The contract also includes a new requirement calling for a supermajority vote to suspend or fire him. Goodwin said she drafted the contract on her own after 2 board members gave Bowden a negative evaluation last summer, claiming
clearly people are not happy about your job performance. Dr. Asplin, I find it interesting that the FSBA also, you were in the original pool of candidates when we hired Tom Bowden.
Not to consider 3 well-qualified candidates, but only 1 job.
Who was fired for sexual harassment. For all these people who are concerned about the money we're spending, $250,000 later, the same FSBA candidate search team brought us our second runner-up.
Our first candidate, the first one on the rack, Dr. Asplin.
I am truly delighted to be here today and to see you all and to sit in this seat again. And but I do appreciate you having me here and interviewing me today. I want to thank the board and I want to thank the selection committee.
So I understand you said you customize things, and so I appreciate that. But in a generality, was the last search process we had, was that a normal process?
There were.
I mean, is that indicative of the type of?
That was a search process that the board helped us design.
So I'm not sure why anyone would be surprised with the results.